gash on the patient's neck. It looks like someone slashed her neck.
This harrowing 911 call went through around 3 in the afternoon Thursday. Broward deputies later finding a young woman dead. Family says she was just 23 years old. Friends identify her as Kayla Hodgson, pictured here, a flight attendant and bartender for special events.
She opened the door. That was her first mistake. Her second, trusting someone who'd traveled 1,000 miles just to end her life. July 13th, 2022, Tamarack, Florida. 23-year-old Kayla Hodgson was found dead in her apartment. No forced entry, no robbery, just blood and silence. Neighbors heard nothing, no screaming, no struggle. Whoever did this, Kayla let them in willingly. Within 48 hours, detectives would discover something that changed everything. The killer wasn't some random stranger. They weren't even from Florida. They booked a flight, packed a bag, walked right up to that door, and Kayla Hodgson never saw it coming. The motive, it had been building for weeks. Technology, obsession, betrayal, a $40 tracking device, one flight, one confrontation, one body. This is the story of how jealousy turned deadly, how a woman tracked her target across state lines, and how a simple choice opening that door cost Kayla everything. Stay with me, because the warning signs, they were everywhere. Welcome to Hot True Crime Stories. Kindly support us by subscribing to this channel and turn on the notification bell icon so you won't miss out on our important true crime documentary. First responders arrived at the Tamarack Village apartments within minutes. Second floor, Unit 424. The door was unlocked. What they found inside would haunt them for years. Kayla Hodgson was lying on her living room floor, 23 years old, gone, multiple wounds, defensive cuts on her hands, her throat slashed from ear to ear. But here's what froze investigators in their tracks. No broken windows, no kicked-in doors, nothing taken. Her wallet sat on the counter, jewelry untouched, phone still charging by the bed. This wasn't a robbery gone wrong. This was personal. Tamarack isn't the kind of place where this happens. Quiet streets, families, retirees, neighbors gathered outside as crime scene tape went up. Confusion, fear, disbelief. I've been living here for about 1.5 years. It's been so quiet. Never seen nothing like that. Nobody heard screaming. Nobody heard a struggle. Nobody heard anything. Whoever killed Kayla moved fast, and they knew exactly what they were doing. Kayla Hodgson wasn't supposed to die at 23. She was a flight attendant, a bartender at private events. Friends called her the life of the party, always smiling, always the first to hype someone up. She had plans, dreams. She'd been saving for 2 years to open her own cocktail lounge. Her friend would later say, she was really sweet. She always had kind words. Everybody loved her. Kayla trusted people. She saw the good in everyone. And that trust, it got her killed. Detectives combed through every inch of that apartment. Fingerprints, blood spatter, DNA. And then they found something that told them everything they needed to know. The door wasn't forced open. There were no signs of a struggle in the hallway, no defensive marks on the doorframe, which meant one thing: Kayla opened that door herself. She knew who was standing on the other side, or at least, she thought she did. For the first 48 hours, detectives had nothing. No suspects, no witnesses, no motive. But they did have one lead: Kayla's phone. And when they pulled her recent messages, they found a name that didn't belong. Someone from out of state. Someone who'd been watching her every move. Someone who was already 1,000 miles away and thought they'd gotten away with murder. Kayla's friends said she was the kind of person who'd help anyone she trusted too easily. Never saw the worst in people. Maybe you're the same way. Or someone you love is. The patterns that got Kayla killed, they're playing out right now in someone's life. We break down these warning signs in every video because awareness is survival. If you care about staying informed, hit that subscribe button. Don't let ignorance be the reason you can't protect the people you care about. Be honest in the comments. Would you open your door at 4 a.m. for someone you barely knew? Because that's exactly what happened here. And I want to know if you'd make the same choice. Drop your answer below. To understand why Kayla died, you need to meet the man at the center of this nightmare. His name was Terry, real estate worker. Always at the clubs, always on social media. He split his time between 2 cities, New York and Florida, and Terry had a girlfriend in both places. Neither woman knew about the other, at least, not at first. Memorial Day weekend, 2022, Miami's nightlife was in full swing. Terry flew down from New York with his girlfriend, a woman named Sakina Thompson, years old, nail technician. Successful business in Queens, they hit the clubs, bottle service, dancing, living it up. That's where Terry met Kayla. She was working that night. Bartender, all smiles, magnetic energy, a conversation, some flirting, phone numbers exchanged. Sakina watched from across the room. She didn't say anything that night, just watched, just remembered. What started as casual text turned into something more. Phone records would later show hundreds of messages between Terry and Kayla over the next 6 weeks. Terry started making frequent business trips to Florida, told Sakina he had real estate meetings in Fort Lauderdale. He wasn't lying about the location. Hotel receipts proved he stayed in Fort Lauderdale, just minutes from Kayla's apartment. Kayla had no idea she was dating someone else's man. She posted happy photos, carefree, excited. In her mind, this was the start of something real. But Sakina back in New York, she knew something was wrong. Late June 2022, Sakina started noticing things. Terry's phone always face down, vague answers about his trips, coming home late. Her friends would later say she became withdrawn, constantly checking her phone, paranoid, asking strange questions. Questions like, how do you track someone without them knowing? She wasn't just suspicious anymore. She was obsessed. An obsession doesn't ask questions. It takes action. Here's what Sakina noticed. Every time Terry said he had a business meeting in Florida, he'd come back different, happier, distracted, his phone buzzing constantly. She didn't confront him, didn't scream or cry or demand answers. She did something smarter, something colder. She went online, typed in a search, and clicked Buy Now. June 30th, 2022. A small package arrived at Sakina's apartment in Queens Magnetic. Waterproof, real-time tracking. 3 days later, while Terry slept, she crept out to his Range Rover, reached under the wheel well, and placed the device. From that moment on, she knew exactly where he was. Every turn, every stop, every lie. And on July 12th, that little device told her everything she needed to know. Red flags don't show up overnight. They build slowly. Secretive behavior, vague explanations, defensiveness. Terry had all of them. But here's the thing, Sakina ignored those flags and went straight to surveillance. That's not love. That's control. And control always escalates. We cover toxic relationship patterns, manipulation tactics, and psychological profiles every week. If you want to recognize these behaviors before they destroy lives, stay aware. Stay safe. If you found out your partner was cheating, what would your first move be? Confront them? Walk away quietly? Or would you track them down to see who the other person is?
Bitches be talking about me thinking I ain't gonna go look on their page. I be looking at y'all page, and y'all can't talk about me because...
Sakina Thompson wasn't just some jealous girlfriend. She was 28, successful nail technician in Queens. Growing clientele. Good money, nice apartment. On the surface, she had it together. But when it came to Terry, she was coming apart. Sakina loved social media, posted constantly, her work, her life, her relationship with Terry. Every post screamed the same message, he's mine. But she also posted warnings. You know that I throw hands, right? If you come for what's mine, I'll throw hands.
You know that I throw hands, right? You know that I throw hands, right? You know that I throw hands, right? You know that I throw hands, right?
Period. Her followers thought it was just talk. Internet bravado. Content for engagement. It wasn't. Friends who knew her offline described someone different. Intense. Possessive. Everything in her life revolved around Terry. One former friend would later tell investigators. Their relationship was her whole identity. July 3rd, 2022, the GPS tracker was in place. Sakina's phone lit up with notifications. Every time Terry's car moved, she knew. Every stop, every turn, every destination. For a week, she watched. The dot on her screen moved between Manhattan, Queens business addresses. Everything checked out. Until July 12th. That morning, Terry's car headed south. Way south. The New Jersey Turnpike. Then I-95. He wasn't going to a meeting. He was driving to Florida. Sakina sat in her apartment, staring at her phone. The dot stopped moving. Tamarack, Florida. An apartment complex on Northwest 57th Street. He stayed there for over 3 hours. She pulled up the address on Google Maps, dot street view. Building exterior. Then she did what any obsessed person would do. She opened Instagram, searched for girls in Tamarack, bartenders, flight attendants, and there she was, Kayla Hodgson. Smiling, beautiful, posting photos from the exact area Terry was parked. Most people in Sakina's position would confront their partner. Scream, cry, break up, move on. Sakina didn't do any of that. She sat in silence, scrolled through Kayla's Instagram, looked at her photos, her smile, her life. Then she opened a new browser tab, one-way ticket to Fort Lauderdale. Departure July 13th, early morning. She didn't pack much, just a carry-on, some clothes, toiletries, and something sharp. The flight left JFK at 6 a.m. By 9 a.m., Sakina was in Florida. She rented a car, drove straight to Tamarack. She knew the address. She knew what Kayla looked like. She knew Terry would be there later that day. What she didn't know, how much blood there would be, or how hard it would be to clean up. But by 4 that afternoon, she'd figure it out. A $40 GPS tracker. That's all it took for Sakina to hunt down her target. Technology can protect you, but it can also destroy you. Stalkers, abusers, obsessed exes, they all use these same tools. They track phones, monitor social media. Was Sakina justified in tracking Terry's car? Some of you will say yes, he was cheating, she had a right to know. Others will say it's a violation of privacy, borderline stalking. Where do you stand? Is tracking your partner ever okay? Or is it always a red flag? Let's debate this in the comments. I want to see where the split is. July 13th, 2022, when 4 a.m. Sakina's flight touched down in Fort Lauderdale. She walked through the terminal like any other traveler. Carry-on bag, sunglasses, calm expression. Nobody would have guessed what she was about to do. She picked up her rental, plugged Kayla's address into the GPS to 23 minutes away. By sunrise, Kayla Hodgson would be dead. Sakina arrived at the Tamarack Village apartments just after 9 a.m. She circled the parking lot once, twice, checking exits, watching for cameras, planning. Security footage would later show her walking toward the building. No hesitation, no nervousness, just purpose. Detectives believe she either followed another resident through the security door or she went straight to Kayla's unit and knocked. Either way, Kayla opened that door, face to face with her boyfriend's girlfriend, and she had no time to react. What happened inside that apartment would remain partially unclear, but the evidence told the story. Sakina would later claim she just wanted to talk woman to woman, that Kayla attacked her first, that it was self-defense. The forensic evidence said otherwise. Kayla had defensive wounds on her hands. She fought back, hard. Under her fingernails, Sakina's DNA. The medical examiner counted over 30 wounds, cuts to her arms, her chest, her face, and then the final one. A deep slash across her throat, ear to ear. This wasn't a conversation that went wrong. This wasn't self-defense. This was rage. Pure, unfiltered, calculated rage. Here's what haunted investigators. The neighbors heard nothing. No screaming. No crashing furniture. No sounds of a struggle. One neighbor was home all morning, directly next door. She heard silence, which means one of two things. Either Sakina moved so fast that Kayla couldn't scream, or she made sure Kayla couldn't. By the time it was over, Kayla was gone, and Sakina was standing in a pool of blood. Most people would panic, call 911, run, break down. Sakina didn't panic. She got to work. She grabbed Lysol wipes from Kayla's kitchen, started cleaning, wiping surfaces, door handles, light switches. Her clothes were soaked in blood, so she changed into Kayla's clothes, put on the dead woman's shirt, her pants, her shoes, stuffed her own bloody clothes into a trash bag. Then she walked out, calm, composed, like nothing had happened. By noon, Sakina was meeting up with Terry. He had no idea what she'd just done. No idea his girlfriend in New York had just killed his girlfriend in Florida. They grabbed lunch, acted normal. And that night, they boarded a red-eye flight back to New York, together. While Kayla's body lay cooling on her apartment floor, her killer was 30,000 feet in the air, watching movies, drinking ginger ale, going home. She thought she'd gotten away with it. Hours passed, then a full day. Nobody checked on Kayla. Nobody knocked on her door until 3 p.m. the next afternoon, when someone finally noticed the smell. By then, Sakina was back in Queens, back at work, doing nails, posting on Instagram. But she left something behind she couldn't erase, something under Kayla's fingernails, something that would bring detectives straight to her door. Kayla fought back. That's why there was DNA evidence. That's why Sakina got caught. Self-defense isn't just about physical strength. It's about awareness, preparation, and recognizing danger before it's too late. We break down survival tactics, warning signs, and real defense strategies in every video. If someone you care about isn't learning this, they're walking around unprepared. Please share this channel. Make them aware. It might save their life. If Sakina had just confronted Terry instead of flying to Florida, would Kayla still be alive? Was Terry more responsible for this murder than people admit? Some of you will say Sakina's 100% to blame. Others will say Terry set this whole thing in motion. Who's really at fault here?
State prosecutors questioned Sakina Thompson about why she stabbed Kayla Hodgson to death inside of Hodgson's Tamarack home 3 years ago. Thompson told jurors she went to Hodgson's apartment uninvited to talk woman to woman about dating the same man. Thompson claims Hodgson attacked her.
Punching me.
Punching you where?
My face.
Where on your face? Point to it for us.
I don't remember, but everywhere on my face.
You don't remember where she was punching you in your face?
In my face.
I mean, this is why you killed her, right?
No.
Right?
No.
It's not?
No.
You didn't kill her because she was fighting you?
No, I killed her because she took the glass from the hookah and slashed me across my stomach.
3 o'clock p.m., July 13th, 2022, 911. Operator, what's your emergency? There's a woman. She's not moving. There's blood everywhere. By the time first responders arrived, Kayla had been dead for hours. The apartment was sealed. Crime scene investigators moved in. For the first 48 hours, detectives had nothing. No suspects, no witnesses, no clear motive, just a dead 23-year-old woman and a killer who'd vanished without a trace. Detectives canvassed the neighborhood, knocked on every door, interviewed every neighbor. Did you see anyone unusual? Did you hear anything? Nobody saw anything. Nobody heard anything. Security cameras had blind spots. The entrance, the stairwell, Kayla's hallway, the crime scene itself offered little. No forced entry, no robbery, no weapon left behind. Whoever did this knew to take the weapon with them, knew to clean up, knew to disappear. This wasn't some random act of violence. This was planned. 3 days into the investigation, detectives made a decision. Pull Kayla's phone records, text messages, call logs, social media. They needed to know who was in her life, who she trusted, who she talked to. And that's when a name kept appearing, over and over and over. Terry. Hundreds of text messages over 6 weeks. Phone calls, video chats, photos exchanged. Detectives brought him in for questioning. At first, Terry played it cool. Yeah, I knew Kayla. We were friends. Casual. Detectives laid out the phone records. These don't look casual. Terry shifted, got defensive. Okay, we were seeing each other, but I didn't do anything. Then detectives asked the question that changed everything. Where's your girlfriend? The one in New York? Terry froze. What does she have to do with this? Everything, it turned out. Within hours, detectives pulled Sakina's records, flight records. New York to Fort Lauderdale, July 13th. 6:01 a.m. departure, return flight. Same day, 11 p.m., same day round trip. Fly in, fly out. They checked her phone. GPS tracking app, still installed. Purchase history, one magnetic vehicle tracker, bought June 30th. They pulled security footage from the apartment complex. And there she was, walking into the building. 9:17 a.m., walking out. 11:34 a.m., wearing different clothes than when she went in. The forensic lab came back with results. DNA extracted from under Kayla's fingernails. It matched Sakina Thompson. She thought she'd cleaned everything, wiped the surfaces, changed her clothes. Threw away the evidence, but she couldn't erase the fact that Kayla fought back, that Kayla clawed at her attacker, that Kayla left behind the one thing that would bring her justice. July 25th, 2022, a warrant was issued. First-degree murder, premeditated. Detectives contacted NYPD, sent them Sakina's address in Queens, done August 3rd, 2022. Officers surrounded her apartment building. When they knocked on her door, Sakina answered, calm, unbothered, until they told her why they were there. And that's when they noticed something. She was showing, 8 weeks pregnant, with Terry's baby. Justice for Kayla came because people didn't stop looking, because detectives followed every lead, because evidence was collected correctly. But here's the reality. Most cases don't get solved this fast. Most families wait years. Some never get answers. If you care about accountability, about victims getting their stories told, about justice being served, we cover these cases every week, not just for entertainment, but so people remember, so justice isn't forgotten. Once Sakina was arrested, they found out she was pregnant with Terry's baby. Does that change how you view this case? Should pregnancy be considered during sentencing for murder? This is divisive. Some of you will say absolutely not, she showed no mercy to Kayla. Others will say an innocent child shouldn't suffer for the mother's crimes. Where do you stand? Comment below. Let's see if there's any consensus. August 3rd, 2022, Springfield Gardens, Queens, New York. NYPD officers knocked on Sakina Thompson's door. She answered, calm as ever. Sakina Thompson, you're under arrest for the murder of Kayla Hodgson. She didn't resist, didn't run, didn't cry, just asked for one thing. Can I write a letter? Sakina was extradited to Florida, held at Broward County Jail, and that's when she discovered she was 8 weeks pregnant. From her cell, she wrote a letter to the judge. Let me read you part of it. To your Honorable Judge Casey, I'm writing this letter in hopes of finding mercy from the court to allow me to give birth outside of jail while also fighting my case. Please have sympathy for me being that I am a first-time mother and have no priors, never been in trouble before. I am terrified of going into labor while incarcerated because this facility is not properly suitable to accommodate a pregnant woman, she continued. I'm asking you for the opportunity to mother my newborn baby while I fight for my innocence. Innocence. The woman who flew 1,000 miles to kill her boyfriend's girlfriend. The woman whose DNA was under the victim's fingernails. The woman caught on security camera entering and leaving the crime scene. She wanted sympathy. The letter leaked online. The response? Fury. She showed Kayla no mercy. Now she wants mercy for herself? That baby didn't kill Kayla. You did. The judge denied her request. Sakina remained in custody throughout her entire pregnancy. She gave birth in February 2023, shackled to a hospital bed. The baby was immediately taken into custody of family members. Sakina went back to jail and waited for trial. It took 3 years for this case to go to trial. 3 years of Kayla's family waiting, 3 years of wondering if justice would come. 2025, Broward County Courthouse, the state of Florida versus Sakina Thompson. Charge, first-degree murder. The prosecution's case was overwhelming. Flight records, GPS tracker, security footage, DNA evidence. But Sakina had a defense, self-defense. Sakina testified in her own defense. Over 2 hours on the stand, her story went like this. I was just jealous, insecure. I flew to Florida to talk to Kayla woman to woman. I wanted her to stop seeing Terry. That's all. When she opened the door, we started talking. Then she got aggressive, hit me with a hookah, grabbed my hair, punched me. I was pregnant. 2 months. She knew that. She took a piece of glass from the hook and slashed my stomach. I grabbed the glass to defend myself. And then I blacked out. She claimed when she woke up, Kayla was dead on the floor. She panicked, cleaned up, changed clothes, too scared to call police. The prosecutor wasn't buying it. Cross-examination was brutal. You don't remember where she punched you? In my face, everywhere. You don't remember where on your face, but you remember cleaning the crime scene with Lysol wipes? You remember throwing your bloody clothes away. You remember changing into her clothes. You remember booking a flight back to New York that same day. But you don't remember how many times you cut her? Then the prosecutor showed the jury the autopsy photos. Over 30 wounds. Defensive cuts on Kayla's hands, arms, face. You can't black out and do this. This is rage. This is control. This is murder. The forensic pathologist testified. The throat wound was last. It was deliberate. It was meant to kill. Sakina sat emotionless. The jury deliberated for 6 hours. When they returned, the room went silent. State of Florida versus Sakina Thompson. On the charge of murder in the first degree, we, the jury, find the defendant. Guilty. Kayla's family broke down in tears. Relief, pain, justice, all at once.
State prosecutors questioned Sakina Thompson about why she stabbed Kayla Hodgson to death inside of Hodgson's Tamarack home 3 years ago. Thompson told jurors she went to Hodgson's apartment uninvited to talk woman to woman about dating the same man. Thompson claims Hodgson attacked her.
Punching me,
Punching you where?
my face.
Where on your face? Point to it for us.
I don't remember, but everywhere
You
on my
don't
face.
remember where she was punching you in your face?
In my face.
I mean, this is why you killed her, right?
No.
Right?
No.
It's not?
No.
You didn't kill her because she was fighting you?
No, I killed her because she took the glass from the hookah and slashed me across my stomach.
Thompson says she was 2 months pregnant at the time. She says Hodgson cut her stomach with a piece of glass. Thompson grabbed the glass and then blacked out. She allegedly awoke to Hodgson dead on the floor. Gruesome autopsy photos of Hodgson's body show she was stabbed dozens of times.
I wasn't really walking over the blood, I was walking in the blood.
You walked in the blood?
Yes.
With what shoes?
The BB shoes. I changed my shoes.
Thompson admitted to changing into the victim's clothes, cleaning up some of the crime scene, and being too scared to call police. She also threw evidence in the trash.
No, she's getting close enough because my jacket was cut up.
Okay, your jacket was cut up.
My jacket was cut up.
Okay, and what'd you do with that jacket?
Threw it away.
In the months leading up to the killing, Thompson admitted to getting upset when Hodgson blocked her on social media. The state says she was upset enough to kill.
You wrote her on IG, and she, in fact, ignored your message initially, correct?
Correct.
And that made you angry?
Correct.
We, the jury, find as follows as the defendant in this case. The defendant is guilty of murder in the first degree.
Guilty is what this family has waited to hear for more than 3 years.
We finally have some justice for Kayla.
A jury found Sakina Thompson guilty of killing 23-year-old Kayla Hodgson in 2022. Prosecutors argued Thompson surprised Hodgson at her Tamarack apartment, confronted her about the two of them dating the same man, and then stabbed her to death. Hodgson's family cried tears of joy in the courtroom Tuesday. They hugged each other tight because a guilty verdict is what they prayed for.
We're so thankful in this moment that the jury was able to see the story for what it is, that Kayla did not deserve to die the way that she did.
Defense attorneys insist Thompson didn't start the fight. They say Hodgson hit Thompson first and cut her stomach with a piece of glass. When Thompson took the stand earlier in the week, she admitted she killed Hodgson because her life was in danger and she was pregnant.
She thought, oh God, she's coming for me and my baby. That's when she grabs the glass and then she blacks out.
After the murder, Thompson admitted she changed into the victim's clothes, cleaned up some of the scene, and that she was too scared to call police. She also threw evidence in the trash. A life taken too soon. Years later, the family says they got justice.
And the moment I heard guilty, it was what we all needed for closure in this moment to move forward, to start our healing process. It's been a long 3.5 years.
Sakina showed nothing. No tears, no reaction, just blank. Sentencing is still pending. She faces life in prison without parole, possibly the death penalty. But here's the twist that makes this even more gut-wrenching. Terry, he's moved on. New girlfriend. New life. Living it up. The man at the center of this whole nightmare walked away free, while one woman is dead and another will spend the rest of her life in prison, all because of him. Sakina threw her entire life away for a man who forgot about her the second she got arrested. She's facing life in prison. Her child will grow up without her. And Terry, he's out there living his best life. Women destroy each other over men who don't even care. We break down manipulation, toxic relationships, and the psychology behind crimes like this every week. Learn the patterns. Break the cycle. Should Terry face any charges? Morally, he set this whole thing in motion. He lied to both women, created the situation, but legally, he did nothing wrong. Do you think he deserves prison time too? Or is Sakina 100% responsible for her own actions?
Sakina Thompson, the male-centered woman, who got sentenced to life in prison because over a nigga. This nigga. That's right. This nigga. You went to jail over a nigga caca. And he moved on to a new woman, raising your child while you were in prison for the rest of your life. That's why I keep telling all the young girls and the women in my generation to stay the fuck away from male-centered women. Okay? There's an old saying in the Caribbean, especially there's a Jamaican saying, she love men like dog. Okay? Male-centered women are fucking dangerous. They will unalive you over a peen. A peen. A dick caca. Yes. She went to jail. She's going to spend the rest of her life for this.
Kayla Hodgson was 23 years old when she died. She had dreams, plans, a whole life ahead of her. She wanted to open her own cocktail lounge, had been saving for 2 years. She loved making people laugh, being the hype man, bringing energy to every room she entered, and all of that was taken away. Not by a stranger, not by some random act of violence, but by jealousy, by obsession, by a woman who saw her as nothing more than an obstacle to remove. After Kayla's death, her friends held a candlelight vigil in Hollywood. Hundreds of people showed up, bartenders, flight attendants, friends she'd made along the way. One friend said it best. She was really sweet, always had kind words. Everyone who crossed paths with Kayla had no choice but to love her personality and big heart. A GoFundMe was set up to cover funeral costs. Within days, it was fully funded, because that's who Kayla was, someone people wanted to show up for, even in death. This case isn't just about Sakina Thompson and Kayla Hodgson. It's about something bigger, something that plays out every single day. This wasn't about love. It was about control. Sakina didn't kill Kayla because she loved Terry. She killed Kayla because she saw her as property, competition, something to eliminate. That's not love. That's possession. And here's what's terrifying. The warning signs were everywhere. The GPS tracking, the social media monitoring, the obsessive posts about throwing hands, the inability to let Terry go, the interstate travel to confront someone. Every single one of those is a red flag, not just for this case, for any relationship. Obsession doesn't appear overnight. It escalates, slowly, quietly, until it explodes. So what can we learn from Kayla's story? First, trust your gut. If someone's behavior feels off, too possessive, too controlling, too intense, get out. Don't rationalize it. Don't excuse it. Don't wait for it to get better. Second, recognize the patterns. Tracking your location, demanding passwords, monitoring your social media, questioning every interaction. Those aren't signs of love. They're signs of danger. Third, digital footprints matter. Everything Sakina did was trackable. The GPS purchase, the flight booking, the phone records. Technology can protect you, but it can also expose you and finally walk away. No relationship is worth your life or your freedom, not one. Let's talk about Terry for a second. Legally, he's innocent. He didn't kill anyone, didn't plan anything, but morally, he lied to 2 women, played them both, created a situation where they were bound to discover each other, and when they did, he walked away clean. One woman is dead, another is in prison for life. And Terry, he's moved on. New girlfriend, new photos, living his life like nothing happened. He's not in court, not facing charges, not paying any price. So who's really responsible here? Kayla Hodgson deserved better. She deserved honesty. She deserved a man who wasn't playing games. She deserved to grow old. Open that cocktail lounge. Live her dreams. Instead, she's a cautionary tale. But here's the thing about cautionary tales. They only work if people actually learn from them. Don't let Kayla's death be in vain. Recognize the red flags, protect yourself, protect the people you love, because the warning signs, they're always there. The question is, are you paying attention? If you made it to the end of this video, you already know this story matters. But watching isn't enough. The people in your life who need to hear this, they're not here. They're scrolling past, ignoring the signs, staying in toxic situations because they don't know better. Share this video, send it to someone who needs to see it, and if you're serious about recognizing danger before it's too late, about never being caught off guard, we cover real cases, real patterns, real survival strategies every week. The next story we break down, it might be the one that saves your life or someone you love. Don't wait until it's too late. Last question, and it's the big one. If you were Kayla's friend and you knew she was dating someone else's man, would you have warned her? Told her to end it, or would you have stayed out of it? Because someone could have stopped this, someone could have said something, someone could have pulled her aside and said, "This isn't worth it." Rest in peace, Kayla Hodgson. Justice was served, but you can never come back. If this story impacted you, hit that like button. And remember, the red flags are always there. The question is, are you paying attention? Thank you for watching to the end, and I will see you on the next episode of Hot True Crime Stories. Stay safe.